Hello, and welcome to RPG Community College. My name is John Burgundy, and I am the Dean of this prestigious institution. And today I'm here to talk about farming loot in Grim Dawn. The method that I'm going to talk about is not the most efficient, and any longtime player would tell you that the Crucible DLC is the most rewarding content in the game. But that is only because it's also the most challenging, and it requires a well-built and well-equipped character to get the most out of it. The barrier to entry for the Crucible can be quite high, and it requires you to purchase some DLC. While the method I'm about to describe has very few requirements, is effective, and it only requires the base game. The only requirement you need to take advantage of the knowledge in this video is to have progressed far enough into the campaign to have access to the Astrakhan Valley Rift, preferably on the ultimate difficulty, where the legendary drop rates are increased. Elite is fine too, but I would not recommend farming in the normal or veteran difficulty. If you're having trouble progressing in those difficulties, the faction vendors sell good gear for low-level characters. Without further ado, let's crack open a portal, and the first rift we're going to be heading to is in Twin Falls. You're going to want to follow a similar path on the map as the one that I've drawn here with the red line. Always kill any elite enemies marked with a star above them. They have much better loot tables than any ordinary monster. After completing the small circular path, you're going to want to double back a small bit and head into the wasp nest. You're going to want to hug the edges of the map and work your way around the hive until you end up back at the entrance. Along the way, you're going to run into the first area boss of the route. She goes by the name of Overprax, the Hive Matriarch. Most areas have these guaranteed boss spawns that are denoted by their purple name. You always want to kill these giant looping goddess. Overprax is also guaranteed to drop some royal jelly, crafter material used to make some pretty useful buff potions. The next leg of our journey is going to be the Deadman's Gulch Rift. You're going to want to head there and continue down the path into the mountain deeps. There is really only one reason that we're here, and that is to find the treasure trove and blow it open with some dynamite. The green dots on the map are going to show you all the possible locations that this treasure trove can spawn, and the stars are going to show you where Ikrix, the boss of the area, can spawn. If he decides to show up, do what you do best. These chests in the ultimate difficulty will generally have around 25,000 iron bits, and a pretty high chance at dropping a crafting recipe or a piece of legendary or unique gear. After I find the treasure trove, I usually just get out of there, and I head on over to the Astrakhan Valley Rift. After exiting the rift, I head to the bottom right corner of the map and into the Tomb of Corvette. Here we're going to be getting chthonic steels of binding from the Cultists, and there are two area bosses that you're going to want to kill. When I'm here, I just try to go straight to the bosses at the end of the tomb and kill everything on the way. After you meet Harvul the Earthshaker, around the same area you might notice a torch on the wall that is unlit. You can activate the torch to open up a hidden pathway that's going to lead you to the second boss in this area. It should be noted that you can only interact with the torch if you decide with the Kaiman's chosen faction in Homestead. You also have to have progressed far enough in their quest line. After dealing with him, you're going to want to open a rift so we can continue our adventure in the Broken Hills. I make my way to the Guardian of Salil. He's a boss monster from the second step in the Hidden Path side quest. If you're not familiar with this quest, I have a link in the description that'll give you a lot more information about it. I go out on my way to kill Salil for the monster infrequent pants that he drops. A well-rolled pair of these pants will be a welcome addition in pretty much any character build. And as you can see on the screen, I got pretty lucky while I was recording this kill. After I've dealt with the Guardian of Salil, I go back to the Broken Hills Rift and head across the nearby bridge into the Arcovian Undercity. You're going to want to make your way to the 3rd floor of the Undercity and try to resist the urge to murder and destroy everything that pops up on your screen. Just run past anything that isn't waiting to spew out a mountain of loot and death. Kilrian the Shattered Soul is resting at the bottom of the dungeon, and he drops a unique component called Kilrian's Shattered Soul. This item is pretty powerful in the right builds, and is also used in crafting some pretty powerful items. If you're putting Kilrian to rest, I head to the exit of the arena that you're in, and that leads to the 1st floor of the Arcovian Undercity, and it conveniently brings you close to a room with one of the area bosses named Nomos the Dread. I kill him and loot the sarcophagus for some iron bits, and then I'm off to my final stop, the Warden's Laboratory Rift. I run through this area along the red line towards the Devotion Shrine, destroying all the Aether clusters along the way and collecting the Aether crystals and the shards. A quick tip to help in your loot get: the Aether crystals can be turned into Aether shards, which can then be turned into dynamite at the Black Legion Smith, either in Homestead or at their encampment in Fort Icon. I highly recommend deconstructing the blue or purple gear you get that you don't want instead of selling it. This is going to get you some of the more rare crafting materials in the game. After I'm done at the Warden's Laboratory, I log out to reset the world and I repeat the entire process. One run is going to take me about 15 to 20 minutes. Your time investment may vary depending on the speed of your build. Like my build doesn't have a movement skill, so if your build does, you might be able to do this a little bit faster. Here's what I was able to get in 3 runs, or about an hour of farming. Well, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you're able to learn a thing or two, and if you're feeling a little smarter than you were about 10 minutes ago, consider liking and subscribing. It'd be greatly appreciated. I wish you good luck in your adventures, and I hope to see you again soon.